Hello, Board of Supervisors. Thank you for letting me speak with you today. I'm here with my fellow SAS members, Safe Ag, Safe Schools. We advocate on behalf of pesticide reform for school children primarily and for farm workers in the community. We are here to address the difficulty we've had in engaging in respectful dialogue with our current Ag Commissioner, Henry Gonzales. We have requested meetings with him on several times, and he did get back to us, and he said that he would meet with us at the time at the Environmental Justice Forum, which was a year off, when we requested to meet with him as soon as he could, and he gave us a year. I didn't go to that meeting because he had limited the amount of SAS members that could be there. And I was told by those present that Mr. Gonzales limited any discussion and stopped dialogue altogether when the science and evidence disagreed with his agenda. After our first request, the Commissioner sent a member of the staff to one of our meetings. We had a presentation outlining scientific research of the dangers of chlorpyrifos, and we're hoping for a serious conversation with an informed exchange of ideas and information, yet what we were given was disrespect and ridicule. Mr. Rhodes blatantly said he did not believe anything we had in our presentation and would not do anything we asked. The staff member also rudely called one of our respected high school teachers a liar when she shared she had taught in a school in Southern California that had a warning system in place that alerted the school when there's a harmful pesticide level detected, so the children can be kept inside, and she was told that she was lying. When we finally met with the Ag Commissioner, he came to our meeting in Greenfield and told his immigration story and history as a farm worker. I believe in the power of story, and I did find his story interesting. However, most all of us have a coming to America immigration story from our ancestors fleeing the violence of poverty, except the SAS meeting was not the time or place for this story particularly. None of our concerns were addressed, and his manner was patronizing. We want our Ag Commissioner to respond to our community's concerns regarding pesticides.
Good morning, respectfully to all of you in this beautiful Salinas Valley morning. I'm Casimira Salazar, and I've been working here at Pájaro Valley as a teacher for 23 years, and I've been a member of the SAS for the past 6 years. And I've been involved here and there trying to educate parents on their rights. I worked for the migrant program for 8 years. My request to the Commissioner is to please do his job, because when I hear the stories that the parents tell me about how the laws are not really followed within the spraying of pesticides, and how every time inspection's supposed to take place, there's a previous cleanup, and they're always willing to, they were in the past willing to participate to whatever had to be done, because we've made studies and connections with there's children's inability to learn. Working here in Pájaro after 4 years, I myself got cancer. I know several of my colleagues that have passed away, and it's a very sad situation when we know we have to spend so many hours also advocating for our students and student study teams to get to the root of all these learning problems. What I came to request as a 23-year teacher is to please, Commissioner. You're supposed to represent us. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm a retired public health nurse, educator, and midwife. I have a very strong and abiding concern for the health of families, children, and the population of Monterey County. I'm going to divide this into two short parts. One is about something that has already happened, something is about what has just come down. In April, there was an announcement by the County Ag Commissioner's Office that they had added some schools to a pilot program in North County in which they would notify when the fields adjacent to the school were going to be using particular fumigants or spray. Fumigants in the ground, spray in the air. This started with 4 schools. It has just added in April that they're going to add 11 more schools. So that is a small number of schools, given that there are somewhere between 65 schools and 137, depending on how you count them. That doesn't count daycare centers. It doesn't count residences, all of which exist within a quarter mile of any agricultural field with spray. It doesn't include any of those. There is no public announcement. There's no public awareness. There's no radio announcement. It's not on the Ag Commissioner's website. So it is not readily available. Only one individual at each of the designated 11 and 4 schools is able to receive this information. It is not generally available to teachers. Teachers are responsible for the kids. Somebody in an office someplace is responsible for getting that message and spreading it quickly. Everybody's got email. Everybody's got cell phones. That could be spread much farther. It could be on the radio, in English and Spanish always. It could be on television stations, where people's ears are that news needs to be out, so they can protect their children, and as many teachers and staff people will tell you at school, to protect themselves from the many illnesses that have long since been identified as being caused by the numerous pesticides used in this county. Now to something more current. The report that my colleague has mentioned what's called Governance on the Ground. This is a UCLA report, and if you didn't get it, there was a link that I sent this morning to your clerk of the board. So you can get the link. This report is talking about the failure of the Department of Pesticide Reform, Department of Pesticide Regulation. That's the regulation that says this is what the state will do. All the ag commissioners, 56 of them, are under that umbrella.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. I strongly recommend that you read the report.
All right.
It is saying that they are delinquent and they are not following laws in every one of 56 counties. That means us.
Good morning, Chair and Supervisors. Thank you for allowing us to speak here. I've been living in San Gerardo since '79. We built that community, and we've been dealing with pesticides ever since. And we have problems with PCP and nitrates, and there's a lot of contamination that is happening with pesticides and large amounts of synthetic fertilizers. That's only, you have problems with aquatic life that is getting poisoned. We have problems with people getting poisoned in the air, in the water, in the food. And they just released a report from the UCLA saying that our commissioners are not doing their job. They're supposed to have better alternatives than the ones that they're using now. Chlorpyrifos is one of them. It's a very dangerous chemical, and we need some help from the supervisors to address the agriculture commissioner to protect the people of Monterey County and also the aquatic life, because a lot of these chemicals, they run through the water, and it's happening here. So we ask you to put better practices that people get informed when their spray is going on. In our community, we have a child care center, and they get announcements when they're going to get sprayed. But in our community, for the rest of the residents, we don't have any, they don't tell us any announcements. People, they just, as soon as they hear the tractor or the airplane, they just go inside their homes, shut all the windows, and that's all they have for warning. So I think we can do better than that. And I ask you, please implement better practices to protect the people from pesticides.
Good morning. I also come on behalf of Safe Ag, Safe Schools. I speak as a public citizen who's been personally impacted. When I moved back in 2010, I'd never been allergic to anything, yet it became hypoallergenic to the world, basically, including formaldehyde, which if you do your research, was a former pesticide. I've never worked in the fields, but as a resident, I do see them spraying nearby my house. So let's get real. Anyone living in Salinas is impacted. I'm also a school teacher. And as a school teacher, I've seen learning disabilities and health concerns that are far out of the norm. So I believe we could go on and on about that, but I've seen kids that are farm workers' children that no matter what intervention is given to them for a full year intensively, you see absolutely no growth. And that just is not normal, and I'm convinced that living in the salad bowl where we produce crops, 4 times a year, that is definitely an impact with the spraying near the schools and near the homes. Statewide, we're talking about maybe 200 million pounds of pesticides, so we better get serious that this is a real concern. The state took the time to ban chlorpyrifos, but we know that the county level is where we're implementing things. And the county ag commissioner across the board is not being held accountable. This is the report that we hope that you will read, Governance on the Ground from UCLA. And it discusses many things, but why are we here today? Because we're hoping that you, as the county board, will be able to somehow have a better voice, a better weight with the ag commissioner, because he's ignoring us. As a private citizen, I became concerned in regards to chlorpyrifos that was applied near my mother's field. I'm her healthcare representative. And so I found it very time consuming to find out basic information. There's a real lack of transparency. And when I was finally referred, after going across the country with more than one person, I might add, to find the basics and doing my own research in terms of ownership of the field, when I spoke with the ag commissioner, they were very rude and condescending. Now, I'm sure he has an overwhelming job, but some of the things that the study pointed out is that across the state, not just in Monterey County, the ag commissioners are not evaluating safe alternatives to restricted pesticides. They're not taking organic methods seriously enough. And they're not considering the cumulative impact of simultaneous implications and multiple pesticides, fumigants, and fungicides being applied all at the same time. So I would behoove you that we need to work together somehow, some way, with the county ag commissioner, who's critically important here, to change our ways of thinking and doing. We need to be preventive, not talking about after the fact when we have hundreds of people poisoned in a field.
Good morning. My name is Maricela Cerda. I was born and raised here in Salinas. I'm an educator. I teach at La Paz Middle School on the east side. I'm a daughter of farm workers, and I'm also an AB 30 delegate. I'm here today as a member of Safe Ag, Safe Schools. We are concerned that the law is not being followed by our current ag commissioner, and he's also not illustrated a way for us to find common ground. The recent study that everybody is referring to more specifically states that all Californian ag commissioners are not assessing the feasibility of safer alternatives to the restricted pesticides, and they are not assessing the cumulative impacts of using multiple pesticides. Why is this important? This is important because the citizenry, we rely on public servants to protect us, and instead we are slowly being poisoned. Our farm workers, our children, We are all slowly being poisoned, in fact. I've been teaching in Salinas for 18 years. What I see over time is that our children more and more are coming to us with learning disabilities. This is not normal. It's really not normal every year to see just more illnesses that way. This is due to pesticide exposure. We need protection from toxic chemicals. In my opinion, we shouldn't use pesticides at all. There are countries that do not use them at all. So I believe that we someday will get there. We won't be using pesticides. But there's a few things we got to do. Supervisor Parker pointed out we got to think more sustainably. That includes greenhouse effect and the climate, but also the sustainability of using certain practices in our agriculture. Our public officials must follow the law. They were obviously made to protect us. We must not tolerate that we are slowly being poisoned. And the public and our ag commissioner, we must find common ground somehow.
My name is Sara Martinez. I'm a community organizer with Safe Ag Safe Schools. I'm also a daughter of farm workers here in the Salinas Valley. And this is a real concern for me and our members. We have a membership in Salinas and Watsonville and in Greenfield. We've been pleased to have met before with Supervisor Lopez to address some of our concerns, and we appreciate his willingness to work with us. It really brings us here two different points. One is the fact that we haven't received an official response from our county ag commissioner in response to the UCLA report, and that to me is the most important point. As mentioned before, the report name is Governance on the Ground, evaluating the role of the county agricultural commissioners in reducing toxic pesticide exposure. I would like to just read a little bit about the summary of the report, which it says that it found that highly volatile and toxic pesticides are widely used in California agriculture to control soil pests for numerous high-value crops, such as strawberries, almonds, and citrus. These pesticides present substantial health risk to farm workers, bystanders, and nearby residents, as well as significant ecological impacts. Hundreds of thousands of pesticides are used in Monterey County. One of the things that they found too is that county ag commissioners must consider mitigation measures and safer alternatives, if any, needed to protect the health of agricultural workers and other individuals who live, work, or engage in activities nearby. Safer alternatives include alternative farming practices, such as integrated pest management or organic farming methods, as well as safer alternatives to pesticides. On-the-ground implementation of pesticide regulation is performed by 56 county agriculture commissioners. Farmers planning to use a restricted pesticide must obtain a restricted material permit from county ag commissioners. They must deny the application where feasible, safer alternatives or mitigation measures are available. County ag commissioner is responsible for knowing local conditions and utilizing such knowledge and making the determination. So I'm here today really to ask that we need that our county ag commissioner is really following the law. And the UCLA report found that there's no evidence that county ag commissioners are doing this. And this study took place in 2017. So again, we need such evidence. We need an official statement or report from our county ag commissioner detailing how he's studying the conditions on the ground and in the air before approving applications. Because so far we don't have this, and a meeting has not been given to us yet to explain this. Thank you so much.
Steve Eklund, and probably about something else today. Safe Ag, Safe Schools. We want to make things better for the kids. These kids are exposed to pesticides all the time. That does brain damage. And if the parents decide, well, I can't send my kid to school because it's too close to the pesticide part of their brain, then the parents can be prosecuted for not sending their kids to school. Let's stop the use of the stuff that does brain damage and look for other ways to deal with it. The chlorpyrifos means mill that causes brain damage. So let's not use it. Thank you.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Liz Lara, soy residente de aquí de Salinas y madre de 2 niños.
Good morning.
Liste. Lara.
Hi, my name is Lisa Lara, and I am a resident here. I have 2 kids.
Y me preocupa todo esto de los pesticidas. Leí un estudio y en donde no están siguiendo como las reglas o
I worry about the pesticides. I was reading online and I saw that the laws were not being followed as they should be for the pesticides.
sí, y uno de mis niños va a una escuela en donde alrededor todo es como pues el campo. Entonces sí me preocupa mucho eso.
One of my kids goes to school and is surrounded by fields, and that worries me a lot.
Sí, entonces como no sé ustedes como si pueden como como ayudar en eso, en que pues por lo menos sigan como las leyes o las reglas.
And I'm not sure, but I was wondering if you guys could help with that, just help better assist them in following the laws.
Good morning, members of the board. It's still morning, it's still 11, so almost 12. My name is Anthony Rocha. I'm a school board member for the Salinas Union High School District, and I'm here to echo the sentiments from the members of Safe Backstreet Schools. Recently, us on the Salinas Union High School District Board of Trustees passed a resolution that banned all glyphosate-based products, which includes Roundup. So we're certainly trying to do our part to ensure that students aren't harmed by pesticides, and we can only do so much in the school district. Our schools are placed in areas around a lot of fields, but we really have no jurisdiction over that. So I'm not sure what the jurisdiction is for the board of supervisors, but certainly whatever you guys can do to reduce the harm that can cause to students, I would implore you to take that route and take a stand and push for that. So thank you.